Hey everybody, welcome back to the show where I cover topics not one single person out there asked for, but it's a job that has to be done, so I'm going to do it. Today's topic, boys and girls, is the MCU's villain problem really that bad, as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail? Right away, you probably know. I'm going to say no, it's not. I don't think the villain problem is anywhere near as big a deal as people that aren't fans of the MCU like to believe. And yeah, the MCU is flawed. I'll probably talk about the actual flaws that the MCU has later on, but today I just want to say that because people have my focus went away. People will complain that ever since 2008, all Marvel has really been capable of doing is taking the hero and putting them up against a mirror version of themselves, somebody with the same powers that's just evil. And there's merit to that, yes, but it's not inherently the issue. The thing that makes it a problem is that it's done lazily, because in the comics, Captain America has a few villains that have his same powers. Red Skull, Winter Soldier, Crossbones. Iron Man has the same thing going on. Crimson Dynamo, Ironmonger. I can't think of any right now. Even the Flash on the DC side, he goes up against speedster villains. Reverse Flash, Zoom, Zum, Savitar, Godspeed. There's plenty of them. But the thing is, in a well-written story, that villain is supposed to be a psychological match for the hero as well. Like Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery, if you think about it, it's a very similar thing. You're sure you have the obvious Venom and Carnage or whatever, but Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus and the Lizard are very similar in that their love of science or whatever, their passion for it, is what got them their powers. The same way Spider-Man was only on that trip because he loves science, and that's why he got bit, because he was there. And if he, lost who he was, lost his identity, he could have very easily become somebody like the Green Goblin or Dr. Octopus. That's the point of those characters. They are still mirrors on him, just not in the most obvious way. That's why I really wish Black Panther had used Kraven the Hunter, because Killmonger in the comics, yes, did once become the Black Panther, but that's not the point of the character. What I liked about Doctor Strange in the villain that you get out of Caecilius, I thought he was very interesting because he's a lot like Strange. He's like, you know what? I don't play by the rules. I go, I dig, I learn. And it turns out I don't like the teaching of the Ancient One, so I'm going to go off and do my own thing. Strange didn't like the teaching of the Ancient One, but if he hadn't come across Caecilius, he very easily would have probably ended up being just like him. If he hadn't had that warning sign staring him in the face, he probably would have continued down the path he was on and ended up being a servant of Dormammu. It's very easy to believe that could have been the outcome of his character arc. Now with Ant-Man, no, I really don't have a defense for Yellow Jacket. I think that was really stupid, especially since Yellow Jacket is one of Hank Pym's alter egos when he stops being Ant-Man and comes back to the Avengers, but whatever. But Iron Man 2 was supposed to be more impactful because Ivan Vanko's whole thing is that, like, hey, the arc reactor tech that you use and make money off of belongs to my father, so thereby it belongs to me, so I'm going to take it from you because you don't deserve it. That's what it was supposed to be, but because that movie was so bloated, it didn't work out that way. Ironmonger works. Ironmonger is a successful attempt at what I'm saying, because he's the shadow of Tony Stark, because Tony's he used to be all about making weapons, and he didn't care what happened to them or whatever, and then he stopped making weapons, but the weapons are what kept Stane interested. Stane's like, well, if you're not going to keep making weapons, somebody's going to have to do it, and it looks like it's going to be me. So, of course, he would go on to become the Ironmonger. It's a direct reaction to Tony's actions, essentially. Winter Soldier makes sense because it's Hydra. Hydra is this looming shadow over Steve's life, and I've heard it said that because Hydra was the bad guy in Winter Soldier, that Winter Soldier is not ambitious. It's a thematic thing because he's trying to hold on to his past while also being forced to acclimate to the future. But the thing is, he doesn't get the things from the past that he wants. He gets Hydra. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain that, but, some people like Patrick H. Willems apparently have a harder time picking things like that out than I do. I just ruined my hair. Point is, though, Red Skull. Red Skull was a first attempt at the super soldier serum. Thematically, it's like, I'm your opposite. I am what you aren't, basically. It's not the strongest, but it still works better than Yellow Jacket does. Thor kind of avoided that in the... Well, he fights his siblings in the first and third movie. Malekith is very bleh. But Guardians of the Galaxy are the ones that really get away from it the most. But the thing is, it's not really a problem in itself, like I said, because in the comics, these characters fight mirrors of themselves a lot, because in the 60s, when some of these characters came about, it was harder to come up with villains. It was villains that were compelling and interesting and philosophically debatable weren't really a huge concern back when the comic industry boomed into existence. It was more when audiences started demanding more cerebral storytelling because of things like Star Trek and Star Wars and maybe Lord of the Rings, who knows. But after nerddom, after that paradigm shifted, that's when people were more demanding of more interesting and compelling villains. And I feel like both Marvel and DC have given us plenty of those in the forms of mirror villains. The Reverse Flash is one of the most interesting villains in all of DC, and it's because he's like literally everything that Barry is afraid of. That's not the point, but the point is, in a very well-written story, I think a mirror villain works well. You just have to take more time out of the bathos that Marvel is so known for, make the movie a little bit longer, and focus more time on the villain. That way it doesn't come across as such a half-hearted attempt at creating a bad guy to put on the poster. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments. Like always, I always want to know what you think. And still, I want to know if I need a haircut or if I should just keep growing it. Oh boy. See you later, though.